This is fluid coding and AI. MiniMax M2.5 is the kind of model release that sounds impossible to ignore. Open weights, long context, low prices, and agent benchmarks aimed at real work. But the practical question is sharper. Can cheap agent tokens still be trusted when the task is a real repo? MiniMax announced M2.5 on February 12, 2026, for coding, agentic tool use, search, and office productivity. As of May 4, 2026, MiniMax's own pages already list M2.7 as newer. So M2.5 is not the final word. It is a useful snapshot in a very fast release cycle. The official pitch is aggressive. MiniMax reports 80.2% on SWE bench verified, 51.3% on multi-SWE bench, and 76.3% on browse comp with context management. Its API docs list MiniMax M2.5 and MiniMax M2.5 high speed with a 204,800 token total context window. That is the launch story, coding, agent search, and a lot of context. The price story is why developers should care. MiniMax's launch page described a Lightning version at 100 tokens per second, with the regular version priced at half the Lightning rate. In the OpenRouter listing captured for this research, paid M2.5 was 15 cents per million input tokens and $1.15 per million output tokens. OpenRouter also lists a free route. That makes long agent runs easier to attempt, but not automatically easier to trust. Cost is a capability, but it is not reliability. When tokens are cheap, builders try different automation patterns, background code review, test fixing, research collection, spreadsheet cleanup, and support triage. The model does not need to be the best chatbot in the world to matter. It needs to make useful automation cheap enough that teams are willing to run more experiments. MiniMax positions M2.5 around full work loops, not just one-shot answers. The launch material talks about task decomposition, tool use, search, coding across more than 10 programming languages, and office deliverables like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and financial modeling. That matters because the target surface is messy work. The output is not always a paragraph. Sometimes it is a repo, a spreadsheet, or a finished file. The open-weight angle is real, but it needs sober expectations. Hugging Face hosts MiniMax M2.5 and lists it as a 229 billion parameter model. Artificial Analysis describes it as a mixture of experts model with about 10 billion active parameters. MiniMax recommends serving paths like VLLM and SGLong. The license is also modified MIT with a user interface attribution requirement. Open weights lower one barrier and expose another, serving the thing correctly. Independent analysis is more mixed than the launch page. Artificial Analysis frames M2.5 as an incremental upgrade over M2.1, with its agentic index moving from 47 to 56. But the same write-up flags a worse hallucination profile, including an 88% hallucination rate in its reported omniscience results. The pattern is simple, stronger agent-shaped behavior, but reliability still needs proof. The first-party local benchmark is the sharpest warning. It tested provider, OpenRouter, model ID MiniMax M2.5:free on a coding-only suite with 21 cases. The score was 850 out of 2100 or 40.48%. 1 case passed, 20 failed. That does not judge every M2.5 route, but it absolutely judges that route in that run. The official scores and the local failure do not have to cancel each other out. They answer different questions. MiniMax's numbers describe vendor-reported benchmark runs and agent harnesses. The local report describes one free OpenRouter route on one coding suite, without full sampling settings, timeout details, or provider-side routing information. The right lesson is not believe nothing. The lesson is benchmark the exact endpoint you plan to ship. My verdict, M2.5 is worth testing if you care about cheaper agent loops, office automation, search and tool tasks, or open-weight deployment options. Do not treat it as a drop-in replacement for your strongest repo agent from one launch chart. Test the exact provider, route, scaffold, and task type. For production code, make it earn trust case by case. If this helped you separate the M2.5 signal from the benchmark noise, like the video and subscribe to Fluid Coding in AI. I will keep tracking the models that actually matter for developers, agents, and real software work.